Feeling stuck, frustrated, or procrastinating? We're going to beat that right now. How turbulent am I? So I want you to imagine what's your gift and what's your dream and desire. So my dream and desire, I live on a 60-foot catamaran. I use it for retreats. And so the first thing I'm going to do is get out in nature. There's a reason that Copernicus, the great minds, they got in nature. There's a biohack here. So right now, if I look at the sun, here we go, beautiful. The infrared light is bouncing off the leaves. So in nature, there's a 4x increase of near and far infrared. And also it's solar noon here in Long Island. This is when the ideas are the best. So between 11 and 1 o'clock, plus or minus wherever your longitude is. And so in that, I have extra power. It turns out that the brain and consciousness is powered by sunlight. It's the number one supplement that I can take is full spectrum sunlight. So if I have the raw ingredients to think better, I'm going to think better. Number two, between me, my true self, I'm 100% coherent. Muscle tension testing, I'm not. So I have 10%, 12%, 13. So what I'm doing is I'm collapsing the quantum bubbles. That was 12. I'm at 6. I had a little Mongolian throat singing to this. This is how I do it. There's a couple different ways. Right there. I'm 100% coherent now with that goal. So if I were to just measure 3 or 4 times a day, what's my coherence and what's my power? I'm going to 4x income. This is using collapsing quantum timelines for goals. And that's the perfect segue into the next topic, is goals. So we spent time today, I had an hour and a half session today, this morning, around the size of the goal determines the size of the motivation. So if I'm grinding for 10 grand a month, my life doesn't really change a whole lot with 10 grand. What if I 10x that? So if I 10x that, it's $100,000, making 1.2. I live on a sailboat. There it is. So the question becomes, if I can use the future goal, this is Adler, by the way. Freud's wrong. I'm going to keep saying that. The past does not dictate the future unless I allow it. Adler, he wrote a book called The Courage to be Disliked. And so what if I'm working a handful of hours, making 10 times more money than I ever have? This is Oprah. Oprah makes billions. She works 2 hours a day. Didn't start there. And it wasn't the rise and grind, but the idea that if I come into coherence, that means that there's no turbulence between me and my goal. It's frequency matching, not time or reps, that makes it happen. So measure that for yourself. You know how to muscle tension test, by all means, do that. Get in the habit of doing that every day, 3 times at least. And we do another video on how to muscle tension test. I teach this all the time. It's critical because this brain controls my physical body and epiphanies happen outside of my body. So let me learn how to measure what my turbulence is. All right, cool. Being out in nature, we have, hey, what's my frequency and coherence? The other part to this whole conversation is then to start to imagine me at that on the sailboat. So it isn't so much the sailboat itself, but what does the sailboat frequency do for me? So when I get into that epiphany level of frequency, now there's ease. And so now the next steps are pretty obvious. So that's the share for today. 10x the goals, figure out how much turbulence I have. And if I just use those 2 tools consistently, I'm going to have a better result. So we're able to do years worth of work in weeks. And if you want support with that, we have a community of like-minded weirdos and world changers doing this every single day. So Brian Yuka from The Thoughtful Spot today. Biohacking with some near and far infrared out in nature, full spectrum sun, and my gifts come with provision and they also come with instructions uniquely to me. So I can't copy someone else's model. I can't copy someone else's dream. And the money's not going to show up until I start doing my life's work in the way that it's meant to be done. So it takes some time. But more importantly, what it really takes is frequency matching and trusting what's exciting, what feels expansive. So sharing this video with you today is what feels expansive for me. So thanks for playing. Talk to you soon.